Okay. I want you to close your eyes really quick.
Okay.
I want you to envision something. So imagine it's Super Bowl Sunday, okay? We were watching this clash of the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers.
I hate it.
Patrick Mahomes drives down the field and throws a touchdown pass to Rashee Rice with 1:47 left and to go up 4 points. The San Francisco 49ers receive the kickoff with 2 timeouts. And who do you think is walking out on the field right now?
Sam Darnold.
Imagine.
Do I keep my eyes closed?
Yeah, you can open it now. Imagine. We live in a world, baby. I don't get copyrighted.
Yeah.
We live in a world, baby, where Sam Darnold is the Super Bowl MVP. He drives the field and throws a dot to who do you think? Give me like a 14-yard out
to Brandon
like
Ayuk.
perfect.
Like that's pretty.
Like
that's chill.
Santonio Holmes-esque.
Yeah.
Like toe
Toe
tap.
drag.
Yeah.
Career highlight.
There we go. Sam the man, Super Bowl MVP.
I like how I knew exactly where you were going with that immediately.
It's 'cause I feel like that's all we talked about this week.
I was just waiting for you to be able to let me say Sam.
I'm gonna put him on. Sorry, I guess I'm gonna cover the sauce.
That's okay. Uh-oh. Revis is...
There we go. For good luck, we're cheering on our boy Sam this week.
I think I saw on Bet365 the odds on Sam MVP.
It was 20,000 plus
I'll
20,000.
put $1 on that.
Well, MYJ Matt, shout out, put a $25 bet, and if he wins, if Sam Darnold wins MVP, he gets $5,000. So that'll be something to keep an eye out for. I have been telling my buddy Jeremy, big 49ers fan, I've been telling him all week that I really hope Brock Purdy gets mono or COVID or something, because I want Sam Darnold to start this game.
That would be
play
so
this game.
poetic, man.
And we're back, baby. The Jets Up North podcast. We took a impromptu break last week because I was dying. It's the flu's getting passed around right now in Canada. We've been dealing with where we're living. It's been I think it's the weather that's been killer.
Yeah.
It's when it goes above and minus freezing like that.
Yeah.
Up and down.
Down.
Your body reacts not good.
I don't know if this is an old wives' tale, but I heard when the snow melts, it releases a lot of dust into the air too, and those particles maybe carry things.
That makes sense.
That's why you get allergies in the spring.
And right now, everything is ice. It's brutal. I've been shoveling, and underneath all the snow is just ice. So
I've been wanting to get a car wash for 3 weeks.
But it feels like there's no point.
Because it just snows and then melts every 2 days.
Yeah, my car's dusty.
Same, dude. Mine's, so dirty.
Oh. Anyways, we're back, though. Sorry for missing you guys last week. Fortunately, though, there wasn't a ton to talk about. So the biggest thing that we want to talk about, which we will get to today, is the article that came out from Diana Rossini and Zach Rosenblatt.
Yeah.
But before that, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're also going to talk about, Ulbrich at the Senior Bowl and some kind of the he was head coach of one of the teams and some of the stories that come out of there. We'll talk about the Pro Bowl because 3 Jets were there this year. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
And then we'll get into that article, and then we'll finish it up with the next installment of Name That Jets. So, really quickly here, let's first talk about the Super Bowl because that's what we talked about.
Yeah.
So we got the Chiefs and the 49ers in Vegas. Who do you want to win, and who do you think is going to win?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs win.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's hard to go against Mahomes, right?
Yeah. See, the thing is, I think I texted this to you, and this is for Jets fans that are watching. My thing with the Chiefs is the better they are the longer they are this good, the less special it makes the Pats dynasty look.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I'm almost kind of pro Chiefs in this sense. It's I don't know. It's it just adds.
See, it's not that impressive.
Yeah,
what
it
they
just kind of
did.
diminishes the value of their dynasty a little bit every time the Chiefs win.
I get
one.
that.
It's so I'm kind of pro Chiefs in a way.
I'd love for Mahomes to end up with 8 Super Bowl rings by his career,
And he's just a different. He's just an alien, man. He's just special.
His family is. It's funny that I feel bad for him. His
Yeah.
family is brutal. His dad just gets the Dewey, and
I think Rodgers should mentor him on family relations. What about you? Who do you got?
I think the Chiefs win, like you said. I feel like you
Yeah.
can't go against Mahomes.
No.
Won't let them lose. It's crazy. Andy Reid is also one of the best coaches that there is. I do really, really hope, though, that the 49ers can pull this off.
Yeah.
Strictly storyline-wise, I actually think, like, from a 49ers perspective, it's kind of sick because, 4 years ago or 3 years ago, they were there with Jimmy. Everyone knows that deep pass to Emmanuel Sanders that he missed, right? And then they came up short.
I think it's funny, though, is Kyle Shanahan kind of gives me the vibes of, like, an asshole.
Dude,
and a douchebag. And I think it's hilarious.
But so did Bill Belichick. Like, I feel like the coaches are like that.
I just think Shanahan's, like, actually a bully to a degree. And he's, like, kind of handsome, too. Like, I just, like...
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to me seeing him like, keep coming up short, like, as the Falcons OC.
Yeah.
And then as the Niners head coach. And if he does it again and comes up short, I personally find that kind of funny.
That is pretty good for the meme, for sure.
But
that's true. I'd be pumped for CMC to get a ring.
Me too.
That's like CMC. I feel like he's a fan favorite. But obviously, first and foremost, I mean, Sam the man.
Yeah,
that would
Sam
be
getting a ring would be so funny.
So amazing. Jets first round pick, Super Bowl champion Sam Darnold.
Super Bowl champ.
Did you see that quote from him where he was like saying that he envisioned being here with the Jets? I mean, every guy's gonna say that.
Yeah, but like
it hurts. That made me sad.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it made me sad too because it was just like, I wish we could have done him better. But
and you see him, he's all grown up now because he has
know.
that nice thick beard. When he was with us, he just had like the neck beard. He couldn't get it up here. It makes you feel old and sad.
Does,
it's like I look back. I was driving down here and I was thinking about that, and I was like, man, for the whole season that year of the tank season before we got Zach, I was Sam Darnold's not the problem over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I still to this day, it's an inside joke with me and my buddies that he's not the problem. Because he never was.
No, he truly never was, unfortunately.
It's unfortunate that I'm like, man, how nice would it have been that we had the second overall pick. We could have traded back, taken like Sewell or Jamar Chase.
Just taking
Jamar.
And
and like help Sam out. And like, that would have been a completely different divergent path maybe that we're on.
Who knows, man?
Who knows? You can't play that game, but it just, it's sad. But
it is.
At the end of the day, I think we're in for a good game. I think Sam Darnold's going to come in and put up, I'd say, 240 yards, 3 touchdowns, and obviously win Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. I think he puts up 1 fumble, but he doesn't lose it. He picks it back up.
Nice. He does like the Cam Newton thing, but he actually jumps on it. Yeah. I like that. But man, you mentioned it there that the Chiefs dynasty watch. They've won.
It's crazy.
They've appeared in 3 Super Bowls. They've won 2 of them, and now, or I guess, they've appeared in 4 now with this next one, and they've won 2 of them. Could be 3.
Just the fact Mahomes hasn't finished worse than the
championship.
Like, that's crazy, dude.
I know.
Like, that's just
unfair. He's like, I said pretty early that like he could retire already and be a Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah.
I'd say after last season, it's a lock after last year's championship. This just solidifies it, though, for sure. So, I mean, we'll be here next week to talk about the game. I'm excited. I mean, I don't know, man. What do you think with the halftime show? We didn't even talk about that. Usher, you pumped for that at all? Any excitement there?
I don't know. We'll see.
I heard Little John might be a part of it, though. That would be sweet.
I've never been able to trust the Super Bowl halftime show after they told us SpongeBob would be performing.
But he's doing it this year.
Is
like on the Nickelodeon stream they were saying. Sweet Victory.
I saw that, yeah.
One thing that you may not know about here in Canada is that we watch the Super Bowl, obviously, like on TV, like everyone else, but our commercials are completely different than the States. So everyone in the States is talking about that Doritos commercial or like, that Bud Light commercial. Yeah. And we're like, dude, we have like a local, like
it's like a car dealership.
Yeah, local auto body shop where it's like terrible acting. It's like, hey, Tim, looks like your car needs a new bumper. And it's like, wow, like I wonder how much they paid for that spot on CTV. Literally. But so you always miss out on that. You always get to you have to watch it after on Twitter.
On YouTube.
It is what it is. Anyways, moving on from the Super Bowl. Actually, sorry, one more thing. Score prediction. Give me. What do you think?
27-21. Chiefs.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit higher scoring. I think I'm going like 35 to 31.
I could totally see it just being back and forth. I think that would be for the best. Just because I'm kind of salty. I wanted Ravens lines.
Me too.
So.
Yep. Last week it was like that meme of that guy like Lamar Jackson, if you can hear us, please save us. I was saying that all week last week. Literally. And then now this week it's like Brock Purdy, please.
Yeah.
If you can hear us, Brock. But yeah, anyways, moving on now. Senior Bowl. So Ulbrich was the head coach at Senior Bowl.
Yeah,
that
good
was an
for
exciting
him, man.
thing, man. It wasn't last year, it was 2 years ago, right? Where the Jets coaching staff was on Senior. It was the Jets and Lions, like on the opposite sides.
It was.
So, anyways, Ulbrich, he had some press conferences where he was talking about how he didn't get any interviews, but he knows that it's kind of on the horizon for him. But I think one of the lines that stood out to me that he said was like, we haven't done anything yet. Like, yeah, like our defense has been great, but it's been on a losing team, which is a good mindset to have. We're still trying to build this thing, get kind of over the hump. So, but there's been lots of buzz around a certain player, and that was Oregon State left tackle. I'm trying to say his name, Talis Fuaga. A lot of mock-ups to him at 10. I think a lot of people have him as like the third tackle.
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I mean, I think what's his face from Notre Dame is Joe Alt is one, and then it's what's his face from Penn.
Oh, I can't remember his name. I know who you're talking about.
The Penn State guy. I've seen him mock to the Jets at 10. If we get him or Fuaga, I'm gonna be thrilled. I think for me at the end of the day, it's tackle or bust. Have you seen Draft Day?
Me too.
It's literally on the sticky note. It's just tackle.
Vontae Mack, no matter
so
what.
yeah, and they won the game. So Ulbrich had his guys prepared, and one thing they read is like they had a lot of guys injured or back out leading up, and they were still prepared and still ended up winning, which says a lot about his ability to prep these young guys and have them ready to play. So, I mean, the way all these Jets players talk about Ulbrich says a lot. I think you look at that first year, when we were with like Solid, we had the worst defense in the league, but then when we got the personnel in, it completely shifted. So I really expect next year to be more of the same when we have with this defense.
And it's like we're not really losing any big names other than like maybe Huff. So it's like I'm feeling, and I guess Lawson.
And I think Jermaine takes that like another leap next year. And I really think and McDonald doesn't need to take a huge leap next year. He just needs to take like a little bit of a bump, right? And so I think there's hope for that for sure. All right, moving on to the Pro Bowl now. So. Who was it? Yeah, Khalil Mack was declined to go to the Pro Bowl or was injured or for whatever reason. And Jermaine Johnson got activated, which was a nice surprise. Pretty surprising him over Bryce Huff, actually.
I know, but whatever.
But we'll take it. I think Jermaine actually played. He had a great year.
I agree.
I remember going back to episode 1 or 2 where that was a guy where me and you said he was poised to take that leap, and he did.
And he did. So.
And then Sauce got an interception as well in the flag football game. It was actually pretty sweet. He was covering CD, and he kind of like jumped back to get it. It was sweet. So, I mean, did you end up watching the Pro Bowl? Or
no, I just saw the clip of Sauce. Yeah. That's it.
At least NFL does a good job of like posting all the highlights. That's kind of where I see all the updates and stuff. Stroud had a really sweet throw to Jamar.
I didn't see that.
And then he also said, or Jamar said to CJ Stroud that he wants to come play with him. And
oh, really?
Like, screw Joe Burrow, I guess. Foul. Yeah, it's like screw your college and pro teammate. Like, tough. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, Pro Bowl, it is what it is. Not much to talk about there. But you know what? There used to be a time where there was no Jets selected.
And now we got
It's nice that we get to celebrate some individual success.
I think we might have 4 with Rodgers. Quincy, he might decline. But.
Yeah, Quincy should have been there this year, I'd say. And I'd say Garrett was like so close.
Yeah,
I'm sure,
Garrett's probably Pro Bowler next year for sure.
I'd say next year with Rodgers.
I don't see why not.
Yep. Anyways, so one more next topic here really quickly. It was Robert Saleh's birthday last week. This will make more sense when we move on to the next topic. But our head coach turned 45, which is fairly young, actually, in retrospective. The youngest coach now is the Seahawks' new head coach, the Ravens DC that they hired. I forget his name, McDaniel or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, so happy birthday to Coach, belated birthday to Coach Saleh. We'll say happy birthday to you because the Jets Twitter account didn't. So that brings us to our next point here. Tea time. Is a little bit of tea time with the boys. If you look at our notes here, it's like quick jot notes, and then it's like a page and a half dedicated to this drama. So
a lot.
For those Jets fans that haven't heard, I'm sure we're late to the party now, but that's okay. I'm sure most Jets fans have heard about it. There was a report from Zach Rosenblatt and Diane Rossini, who coincidentally were the ones who did that Zach Wilson reluctant to play break earlier in the season. Came out with a new article with some of the chaos that was happening behind the Jets this year. So I kind of pulled information from various sources because, sorry, Athletic, I'm not paying money to read an article. I'm sure some people are fine with that, but
we're not.
I'm not. We're doing this for free, so like we don't got money for that. If we had an income from this, maybe it'd be a business expense, but no, not happening. So, anyways. Basically, there's going to be I'm kind of be jumping all over the place here, but I'm just going to rattle down kind of just some of the big points
here. Yeah, you just rattle it down.
And if you want to cut me off, just jump in.
I can, yeah.
So, a lot of takeaways here. So, one of the big takeaways is Hackett looks a lot worse than we thought. One of the big things was his lack of attention to detail. from sources. His lack of adjustments, with an example being the Cowboys week 2.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line coach was asking Hackett to account for Micah Parsons and help Dwayne Brown out
Mm-hmm.
because he's getting his ass handed to him every play. And he never made those adjustments. And it's what's crazy is that like anyone who watched that game knew that Michael Parsons was
so
just
obvious
having his way.
literally.
And 45-year-old freaking Dwayne Brown isn't going to do anything against literally all-pro Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating. So the next point here, Saleh portrayed poorly. There's a couple different things here and there. It wasn't great. So it sounds like his perspective is as soon as Rodgers got hurt, Saleh was the one who threw in the towel, which I am frustrated with.
Yeah.
NYJ Matt used the word insecure, which I think is a good word to describe. We'll get to that. One of the things that Saleh did was that he did research on other coaches with their starting quarterback to defend himself, which just isn't a good look.
No, of all the things to research, it's like
So then moving on later in the year, when the report came out of Zach Wilson being reluctant to play and all that drama that was happening, Saleh actually asked the team who the rat was. And then he said they wouldn't be punished if they came forward. And I put in brackets, yikes.
It's like kindergarten.
That's what it reminds me of, like high school.
Yeah.
Where, like the teacher's like on their last hope, where it's like, okay, if you come forward and tell me who like did this prank, like no one's gonna get in trouble. And still everyone's like, you and your buddy are like looking at each other like, don't do it, bro. Bad. Terrible. I don't know if I mentioned it here. But Saleh also threatened to take away players' phones away. Yeah, which is also just terrible when they're grown ass men.
Yeah.
This isn't high school, man. That's bad. This one's my favorite. I think favorite thing out of everything is but Woody Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the exact line from the article is Johnson is known around the building for being active on Twitter, consuming criticism from fans and media alike. According to team sources, Johnson often shared those opinions with Saleh and conversations about what wasn't working on offense.
I think that's so funny.
Just
actually.
the visual of him being like, yo, like
look what NYJ Matt said about the offense.
This meme's pretty good.
Yeah.
There was the one meme I saw, like, then Jets Twitter had a field day with this because there was a picture of, like, it's just a random picture of, like, Woody and Saleh talking at Jets practice, but his phone's out. And it's like, oh, like, the one meme I saw was when that Boy Green beef was happening with Michael Nania. And it was like, oh, like, look at Boy Green. Like, like he knows karate. Like, look at him breaking, like... Like him giving Saleh like the lowdown on the Jets Twitter beef.
The lore.
The lore.
Yeah.
So bad. So some other things according to the article is that there was over 30 plus sources, which is a big yikes. If there's that many people voicing things to the media, that's not good. Also, one important note here that other people have said, this isn't my my observation, this was a lot of points that other people were saying, is that there was a lot of lack of front office criticism, which I think is not fair at all. I think, yes, if, we talked about Saleh throwing in the towel when the injury happened, but there's also onus on the front office it's still week 1 or week 2, like go get somebody, go get a Josh Dobbs or whoever, right?
So it's curious.
It is very curious where the leaks come from. Next point here. So moving forward now, Saleh, there was a tweet about Saleh wanting play calling to be more collaborative moving forward, which I have no idea what that means, to take power away from Hackett. I'm guessing that means probably like having Rodgers more involved in stuff like that, right? Okay, so then anyways, moving on now, some other more notes from this article. Sources describe the Jets as a team riddled with making excuses, a paranoid head coach, an ill-equipped offensive coordinator, and organizational tunnel vision on the quarterback that rubbed teammates wrong. Rodgers is an assistant GM. Like, this goes on and on. I'm not even going to read all these. Saleh asked Aaron Rodgers to talk Zach Wilson about returning to play, but it didn't change Zach's mind, and Zach's feelings towards Rodgers soured as the season went on. Like, it just isn't good, man. Some players and coaches grew tired of the way Saleh fawned over Rodgers. I'm sure that would get a little bit old.
Oh,
right?
Definitely. It doesn't, like, if Rodgers was playing, it'd be a totally different story. It's just the injury literally ruined everything.
And then when Rodgers went back to California, Zach barely heard from him when he was told to have direct communication, which was, like, the report early on that like when Rodgers went down, it's like, oh, they'll be in communication throughout the year.
In Rodgers' defense, he probably saw that Zach just wasn't the guy.
Ready.
Like, he just wasn't it. So he was like, I'm not wasting my time and energy on this. I want to focus on my recovery
rehab
kind of thing.
And he was trying to come back to play this year.
Yeah,
He's
so
like,
I think...
Yeah.
I know that it's a bad look for Rodgers, but if I were in his shoes too and I just saw how bad Zach truly was, I'd be like, why am I wasting my time on this guy just for the sake of, like, appearances? Like, so I don't know. Obviously, I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
But
no, that's a good point. Other than that, and then with all of this stuff happening, so the report came out on Robert Saleh's birthday. So with
Happy
that
birthday, Robert.
I know, hey. With that being said, everyone on Jets Twitter is having a field day with this. He's like, are the Jets going to tweet "Happy Birthday to Robert Saleh"?
Yeah.
And guess what? I mean, we spoiled it before, but they didn't.
No,
They didn't say Happy
that's
Birthday.
so awkward and weird.
I know.
Cringe.
Like, I'm curious what the behind the curtain look. Like, not even because this isn't even related to the team. This is a whole complete different. It's the social media department, right? The communications team. What was that internal conversation like? Because for those of you who don't know, that's kind of what my job is. I work as like the communications, social media in a business here in the city, and like there had to be this conversation where it's like, are we posting this or not? I bet you it was ready. NYJ Matt did the research, and the Jets have tweeted "Happy Birthday" to their head coach for 16 years in a row.
That's bizarre.
Dating back to Rex Ryan. The only thing opposing it is that, like, oh, they're going to be, all the subtweets are going to be, like, about the article.
Yeah.
But, like, whatever. It's going to blow over. Like, this is the sports world. Things move. People move on.
Like, and also, no one cares about Jets or, like, about it other
Except
than
for Jets fans.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
no. And, like, the stuff in the article and everything that came out, a lot of it you didn't love seeing. But was anything, like a fireable offense for me? No.
Mm-mm.
If this next season goes down in flames, are we gonna be like, this was the writing on the wall that we should have listened to? Then yes. But it all comes down, like, but we'll see, right? Like,
it just looks so bad
winning
because of the
changes
Rodgers
everything.
injury.
Yeah.
Like, again, if he didn't get hurt, none of these things probably would have came out unless it was just a horrific season with him in the offense.
Yeah.
So, like,
We'll
never know. That's a what if.
Yep.
People are very dramatic, and it's like, you and I both knew, like, there was that, like, 2% when Rodgers went down. We were like, maybe we still make playoffs.
Yeah.
But I think we both knew deep down inside that the season was kind of cooked.
It was that, for me, the season ended when that second Bills game.
Yeah.
When Zach was like kapooey, and then after that was the Tim Boyle
Yeah.
era, and that was when
And
I
it's
was
just
like, okay,
like-
let's just embrace the terrible.
It's like, I don't know why people are so, like,
butthurt.
negative and butthurt and dramatic. It's like, bro, like,
Take this all with a grain of
I was
salt.
on to next year 5 plays into the season.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Yeah, I know, and this whole season was like numb. It was we talked about before, like the best viewing experience this year was numb. You're numb for wins, you're numb for losses. And it got us to where we are. We're sitting at the 10th overall pick.
Yeah, we're big chilling now.
Yeah.
We're having a great time,
And
actually.
I think we have an opportunity here this next offseason to actually make some big moves.
And we still have a lot of money too.
Yeah,
so
take a step forward.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be like Dwayne Brown's contracts off the books. I wouldn't be surprised if CJ's gone.
Yeah.
His contract's off the books.
Yeah.
Uzama, sorry. And then like there's gonna be like players that we're gonna free up cap space. They're gonna figure that out. So, the final tidbit here is, after all this article stuff came out, the Jets parted ways. They agreed to part ways with their assistant GM Rex Hogan.
Yeah. I never liked him. I'm gonna be honest with you. He was so like soft spoken. He just gave me the vibes of like a yes man, like through and through.
Yeah.
In all of his interviews, he'd be
I get
like,
what you mean. JD is like a dog.
Yeah.
Like,
and then Rex was just kind of standing there, and like even when like during the draft calls, when we'd select a player and all the guys would get a chance to talk to him on the phone, he was so weird and awkward, and I was like, how's this guy
social studies teacher vibe? Obviously, we have to see what this team does with the offseason. We have the 10th pick. We have the third rounder still.
Yeah.
We might recoup some more picks. We have free agency and everything. Like, what's your kind of confidence going into this next year?
I'd say out of 10, I'm sitting at like a nice 7.5 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
Like, I'm pretty confident. Just, I feel like, I don't know. I've talked about it so many times on the pod. Like, consistency is the key to success
Yes.
in the NFL, and like we are hanging on to the current regime, and Rodgers has another year to like try to gel with the guys, and like we're not losing a lot of talent by any means. We have a good opportunity to bring in a lot of good players. We have guys who can take a lot of leaps this year, like even Jermaine again could leap.
Joe Tittman.
Joe Tittman could be, and we get
AVT
AVT back.
Yeah.
Will McDonald, we talked about earlier.
Yep.
Even seeing another ascension from Garrett, like he could become a 1,500-yard kind of guy, not just 1,000-yard
like
kind
a
of
top
guy.
3 fantasy type option.
And Breece Hall, like a whole year removed from ACL, that's big too. Like
if we can get a guy, I would love to get a guy to complement him. If we could draft a guy like in like the 6th round, that can like
that would be awesome.
Just be a change, and then and maybe see the development of Izzy come up a little bit.
And we have an opportunity to get like actually good receiving options other than Garrett.
Ruckert again. I think Ruckert's going to take another leap, right?
Yeah, so it's like there's a lot to be optimistic about, and there's so much talent on this roster. The reason the roster didn't look as talented last year is just because of coaching and the injury to Rodgers
and like, offensive line.
And like the abysmal offense that we had. It was very hard. It's hard to showcase talent when you're just 3 and out constantly.
Yep.
Like it's so I think
you can't get momentum. You can't build anything. You can't like it's and brutal.
I think like our defense was so good this year. We were PFF's #1 rated defense. I think it would be even better if Rodgers was healthy.
I know. Like they'd be in the discussion of like a top, like not saying the top, but like in the discussion of like a top all-time
like
defense.
an all-decade defense kind of thing. Like that's what we're talking here, and it's just unfortunate. Like that's how good they were. Our offense was literally the worst in the league, and we had the best defense in the league. Do you know how insane that is? Like that's ridiculous.
We did the same thing. Like we did. It's like Groundhog Day, where we did the same thing back-to-back years.
Yeah.
I actually think I prefer not the season that just happened. I think I prefer last season.
Me too. That was way more fun.
It was way more fun.
You and I were having a blast.
It was
watching
great.
Those games.
Yep. But it is what it is.
What's your confidence going into 2020?
You said 7.5. I think I'm less than you. I think I'm 6.5. I'm.
That's fair. You're a realist.
I have no faith in this team.
Yeah.
That like, I'm waiting for them to break my heart again. But
as I age, it's kind of weird. I almost like hate this team in a way. Like I almost despise it. Like
it's like you're an old married couple and you hate your wife so much, but you're already married. It's like we're going to the grave together.
It's such a shitty meme. I hate this meme. I think NYJ Matt always posts it, but it's that old dude sitting on the bench
with the umbrella.
The umbrella.
It's like just because I'm mad doesn't mean I stopped caring. Yeah.
That's literally me. I'm like I fucking hate this team.
But it's like no, and it's funny because like stuff comes up or like people will shit talk like a random jet, and I will still like drop everything and defend. My boys.
Mm-hmm.
There's still dudes on the team where I'm like, man, like there's so many winning players that like I hope we can turn this thing around.
Me too, yeah.
Last little point here is that I've seen a lot of conversations swirling around this week. We talked about how bad this offensive line has been.
Mm-hmm.
We need help, obviously. We need to get some guys in here. And a name that's been thrown around a lot is Tyron Smith, the longtime Cowboy.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? Would you like, people are saying like a 2-year deal?
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts?
Dude, we've been through this so many times, like with just so many guys that we bring in that are old. Like even like
Morgan
fucking
Moses.
Ryan Khalil. Do you remember him?
Dude, coming back out of retirement.
And he played for like a month and a half or something.
I thought he was gonna be so good.
Yeah,
way to bring that name up. I gotta see how old is Tyron Smith. I think he's like.
It's just like I've
32.
seen this so many times. Has it ever worked out for us? Like genuinely, like
I know.
Dwayne was okay.
He's 33.
Okay, that's not that old.
That's
I suppose.
Old. I think Dwayne Brown's around that age.
I thought Dwayne was like 38. I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think Dwayne Brown's 38.
He's not. Oh.
I gotta check this now.
I always think of Andrew Whitworth. I think that's more impressive than Tom.
That is because
he came back from an ACL injury and he was 40 in the Super
Bowl.
And
he was so good.
And he was like arguably the best tackle in the league at the time.
And then retired.
Like what a legend.
Man. Bengals legend. Okay, Dwayne Brown age. Google survey says 38. You are right.
Wow, let's go.
Bro, we played a 38-year-old left tackle against Micah Parsons.
So that actually kind of gives me some optimism about Tyron Smith.
What? I can't believe we signed him to that. Like last year when we brought him in, I loved the signing, and he was good last year.
He was,
and he didn't and he played through injury, and he won like an award with the team. But I still, even then, I was like, why is it a 2-year deal? Like, you know how old he is.
Old.
Anyways, so we've been over this before.
Yeah.
The fact that Tyron Smith's 33 gives me a little bit more, because I thought him and Dwayne Brown were pretty close.
Yeah, no.
Gives me a little bit more like
He's just way more injury riddled, I think.
Yeah.
Than Dwayne is overall.
I
don't know that he could in football age be like 40 just due to his injury history.
Yeah, could be older.
Yeah, he's actually 60 years old on the field.
Speaking of injury and football age, another name here that I kind of want to throw in for conversation for also on the line is Becton. Like, how would you feel about bringing Becton back? What would that look like?
Prior to us starting to record, you kind of broached the idea of like maybe just a light deal for him, like kind of a prove-it 1-year deal. I'd be open to that for sure. Let him keep trying in training camp to win the job. So I'm not opposed to bringing him back. I want us to have as many like guys on that line. I think depth, as we've seen, is so valuable.
Yep.
And it's like there's nothing wrong with competition, too.
I agree.
So it's like I'm not opposed to bringing him back. If you were to leave, I'd be like, okay.
It is what
like
it
it
is.
wouldn't bother me at all.
I'd add him to my jersey curse because I have a Becton jersey. But I agree. I think Becton, like, it breaks my heart because he had such a good rookie year. Back-to-back injuries. I will say this year, the fact that he got to finish the season and he missed one game is props to him. I'm happy for him. Like, that's spectacular. At the end of the day, it's like in the injury. If a guy's bad, then a guy's bad, and you can meme on that. But it sucks when you just miss potential, right? And you just never got to see it come to fruition. And at least we got to see Becton this year. He struggled against, like, running game was always his strength. Where he struggles a lot is against the speed, like for example, Bradley Chubb against the Dolphins, a speedier edge rusher.
Well, we all remember when Carl Lawson was just destroying him in training.
Yeah, exactly.
Carl got hurt because he's just a speed rusher. Like he's small and like compact. Becton just can't move
that quick and just.
So
it's just angles and everything, right? So.
And unfortunately, like a lot of guys in the NFL are speed rushers around the edge. It's just kind of like the new breed of edge rusher is just like
that's a primary.
That like Will McDonald, like ultimate bend, speed, athleticism. It's not as much like kind of gone are the days of like the Khalil Mack power rush.
What's his face? The Packers legend, Reggie White.
Yeah.
Like there's no guys aren't like that anymore, right? Like,
and you even look at like Aaron Donald, like he was an undersized defensive tackle and he was so dominant just because he was so fast and his technique was just insane.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why I'm not the biggest fan of those big, slow, like bruising tackles.
Yeah.
I like I mentioned him earlier, the Tristan Wirfs, like the light-footed, like balanced, athletic tackles. I think those guys are, and they just don't get injured as much.
Because they're like healthy. Like, they're able to move faster.
Exactly.
And just, like, more bend and all
they're just
this
lighter
stuff.
on their feet in general. So it's like,
and the one thing with Becton is that when it comes to him being injuries, it's like for how big and he is, he heals at a completely different rate than a normal person. Slow. Right, and so it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on here. Last topic today, the fan favorites. Name that Jets. So everyone knows the rules, unless you're new here. Adam's gonna give a couple questions. Talking in the first person, and I'm gonna try and guess that Jet. Last time, I'll say last week. Last time we did it, we went 2 for 4. When I did it, I went 4 for 4. But
I'm here for revenge.
But I think you're trying to stump me today, and I'm excited. We kind of agreed that you're not gonna you can't go past earlier than 2009. Yeah. Because that's kind of we're both we're both
if you
late
give
90s.
me if you went off the roster from 2008. 0% chance.
Brett
unless
Favre,
it was like a
Lavarius
legend,
Coles. I know a couple. Jericho Cotchery.
Jericho.
Anyways, okay, I'm ready. So let's go.
Okay, number 1. Here we go. So just a refresher here too. I have 5 hints per player. If Cole can guess it before I give the 5 hints, not really bonus points. It's just kind of an ego thing.
Yeah,
I'd say pride is
true.
On the
I
line.
would say it's just like you just get to
you get to
puff the chest out a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so first player here. First hint. I had a stint in the CFL.
Joe McKnight?
No.
Okay.
Prior to signing with the Jets, I played for the Panthers.
Greg Van Roten. Do you know who he played for in the CFL?
I think it was the Argonauts.
That's crazy. Oh man, Greg Van Roten. Dude.
The next one was, my name is somewhat rotten.
So is his freaking skills, man.
Yeah, this was my gimme. I wanted to give you.
That's good. Just get the feet wet. I like it.
Kind of just get your mind right.
I actually didn't know he played in the CFL till fairly recently.
Yeah, no. I thought that was interesting.
I
didn't know until I looked them up, actually, believe it or not.
I have a soft spot for the guys who went from who made it to the NFL from the CFL.
He actually started. Went undrafted, was signed by the Packers, realized he was like, I wasn't actually cut out for the NFL. Went and played in the CFL, then came back.
Oh, do you know how many years he was in the CFL?
I think it was just one season, and then
made the jump.
And then he came back. Yeah, so he went NFL.
I wish the CFL was way more of a developmental league for the NFL. I wish there was more of a pipeline or something between
That'd be cool, man.
It would be really cool,
especially if guys could do it instead of college or something like that. Like I think that would work. In a way.
Or like I think there's so much value. Like there's guys who go practice, like the guys who are on practice squad for teams probably make more than CFL starters.
Oh yeah,
which to me it doesn't make sense.
Think about what that would do for like the CFL though. If like, imagine if Marvin Harrison chose to play in the CFL. Like, dude, that'd be awesome. Or like Saquon Barkley instead, like when he was in college.
The CFL like has to like how like when the NFL and the AFL merged in the '60s. Like imagine like the CFL came on as like the 8 additional teams. That would be so cool.
The Riders playing the Jets. Just the exact same jersey combo.
I know. People always assumed that's why I picked the Jets.
Yeah. Me too.
Fun fact, we're from Saskatchewan, and our team is the Saskatchewan Roughriders. If you want to see a worse team than the Jets, go look up Saskatchewan Roughriders history. Mm-hmm. There are 8 teams in that CFL, and the Riders have 4 championships
in 100 years. They've been around for 110.
Like
years.
More, it's been the league has been a league. The CFL's been longer than the current age NFL.
Do you know how statistically impressive it is to only win that many times in that many years? Like it's actually hilarious how bad they are. Anyways, I digress. Yeah. Player number 2, you're 1 for 1.
Let's go.
The Jets traded up to draft me.
Okay.
I am a fan of musical theater. My 40-yard dash was exactly 5 seconds.
Musical theater. Okay.
My high school team was called the Diablos.
That's sick.
I am a bit of a legend and a meme. And those are all the hints.
What was the second one about theater?
I am a fan of musical theater.
And the Jets traded up for him.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to.
Dude, this is a tough one.
Yeah, it is a tough one.
Am I allowed to ask questions?
Yes, you can.
Can you tell me what year he was drafted?
It would have been 2009.
It's not Mark Sanchez.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mark Sanchez was okay, first of all, Mark Sanchez, the Diablos is sick.
Yeah.
What can you help me with the musical theater reference?
Yeah, he just really loves Broadway theater and all the musical stuff.
Now that you mention that, he does that podcast with Nick Mangold, and he's talked about when he was a Jets quarterback, his gift, one of his things, because when he was a young stud, all the that goated
when he
Jets
plays guitar and shit, he's big into music as
right.
well. And it's literally on his wiki. I was just doing some research for this. He's I think he produces some things as well in
cool
music. I could pull that up, or it's Greg
cool.
can.
I always like seeing Sanchez, man. And he's in media and stuff, and I think he does a decent job commentating, except when he's bashing the Jets for.
See, I thought it would be funny to give you a really obvious player, but make it impossible.
No, I was in over my head. I'm they traded. The only thing that gave it away, honestly, was 2009 because I know that draft class was pretty thin.
I know, and it's I don't think we traded it for anyone else.
I think they had Sean Green that draft class, Slauson, and Sanchez. I think there was one other guy.
Yeah.
It was
I could have said no, but then I was I don't know if I'll actually get it.
I probably wouldn't have gotten it. I wouldn't have guessed Sanchez. I mean, maybe eventually because of the trade up. I was trying to think of who else they traded up for.
I know, right? Yeah.
Nice.
Isn't that hilarious?
2 for 2. Let's go.
Okay, here we go.
Marky Mark.
I was drafted in the first round by the Jets.
Okay.
I ended my career on the Rams. In my rookie year, I had 30 tackles and 5.5 sacks. The Jets waived me in 2015.
Is it Quentin Coples?
It is, yeah.
Dude,
I wore number 98.
I thought he was going to be so good.
Me too, man.
He was coming in with Muhammad Wilkerson, Sheldon Richardson.
Yeah, he was supposed to be different.
Oh, Quentin Coples. I just also remember that he had that he had one of those big brands.
Yeah.
And it always made it looked
those look
uncomfortable,
painful, man.
Yeah.
It's
they get bumpy.
Yeah, that's wild.
A horseshoe on it. Yeah. But wow.
Nice job. 3 for 3.
Quentin Coples, man.
Yeah, what a legend.
90.
Psych.
Psych.
Okay.
He ended with the Rams.
Yeah, he did, yeah. And it wasn't very pretty.
I was going to say, I don't even remember like
yeah.
a team he went to after.
That's because we waived him. Like, he really wasn't that good.
Bad.
Yeah. Okay, number 4. Here we
go. Can he be perfect?
I'm pretty confident in you with this one.
Okay.
I played my entire career on the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I retired in 2019. In 2018, I suffered an unfortunate neck injury.
No, don't do this to me, my boy.
In my rookie season, I only played in 2 games.
I know who this is.
Yeah, go for it, man. It's quite sad.
He walked so Deebo Samuel could run.
Facts.
Quincy Enunwa.
No, it's not Quincy.
What?
Sorry, yeah.
Bilal Powell, then.
Yeah, Bilal Powell.
Quincy Enunwa
so
also
funny.
had a neck injury, though.
He did, yeah.
Bilal Powell.
I was trying.
The guy should have been our main running back for so long.
Right?
But we were pushing Matt Forte out there.
Frank Gore. The last one was I signed a 1-day contract to retire with the Jets.
Man, Bilal Powell, big shout out. We've exchanged DMs a couple times. I got to ask him a couple questions here and there. I always try to act, I don't want to act like I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Big time fanboy when I'm DMing.
He's professional.
Yeah. But man,
Nice job, man.
Jets
4
legend
for 4.
to the max degree, Bilal Powell.
He is a
Like
Jets
that's like no one's gonna know him unless you're he went to Louisville Cardinal fan or a Jets fan.
Literally.
Do you know what draft pick he was in? Like what round? Like
I want to say it was like mid.
What's crazy to me is Powell was on that. He was drafted in 2011.
Yeah.
And he was so that means he got his rookie season. He played with like LaDainian Tomlinson and Sean Green.
Isn't that hilarious?
Like how sick of like a room is that for him to be in? Yeah. And do you remember when he was a free agent and then
4th round, 126 overall.
4th round.
Yeah.
And he made like that. I remember that one post that he made where it was like he's like about him coming back, and it was like he made a big deal about him returning. That's a player that like just never complained. I don't think I ever heard anything negative about him. And man, just heartbreaker, man. Should have definitely been better with him. He definitely should have gotten more tread.
I agree with you, man. It's so hard.
He does a podcast now.
Yeah, I saw
which is
that,
cool.
Yeah.
I know him and his wife because I still follow him. Him and his wife do a lot of like home renovation flipping and stuff like that, which is cool too. They have like that business doing that, so it's cool. I mean, I wish
he just seems like a great dude.
I know.
You know what I mean?
That's a name that I love to throw. Like have you seen those memes where it's like a random bar table booth?
Yeah.
And it's like this place looks like you could just sit and name running backs all day with the boys.
Powell,
yeah, Bilal Powell. Oh man,
that's a guy we could use to change a pace for Brees.
If we had a Bilal Powell clone today, I would gladly.
Yeah.
Because he was a great receiving back. Oh man, so good. I'm trying to think of like a couple big plays. He had a touchdown in that game against the Giants. I was goated in that comeback that we talked about previously.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
It was like a screen pass.
Yeah.
Wow, man, I can't believe I went 4 for 4. I didn't miss.
No, you didn't.
Wow.
Good job.
Anyways, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you for joining us with Jets Up North. For flying with us, I should say, for joining us. What am I saying? We'll be back next week with a post-Super Bowl season-ending episode.
Hopefully Ryan can join.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Ryan.
We'll try to plan that with him, and we can do a little roundup. And it'd be fun if we could try to figure out some fun NFL game, trivia game or something that the three of us could play. We could brainstorm on that.
Yeah.
Because it'd be fun. Because you won't be unless something crazy happens, there won't be a ton of news to talk about.
I know. We'll talk about the game, our fantasy results. But that's I feel like there's
5 minutes.
Yeah, there's not much to be like. Oh yeah, Cole won. That's okay.
Yeah, spoiler alert. No, not spoilers. Last time we checked, I was in the lead.
Yeah.
I did this with my the same bracket with some other buddies, and I don't
know, man. You said I was winning, so I mean,
I just knew there was one league that I wasn't winning, and I thought it was this one, but it was the other one. I think it's we'll see. Anyways, thank you for flying with us. We'll be back next week, as always. Let's go Jets, and we'll be back soon.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.